Why do we allow ourselves to be dictated by our losses? We're ready to question the whole world and doubt ourselves over this small little loss. You paying closer attention to the losses more than you are the wins. You should have set out to play that game, taking into consideration the fact that it's gonna have losses. But don't allow it to cancel out your wins. Don't pay attention to the losses. Take the lesson, not the loss, and just move forward. Take the lesson, not the L, and just move forward. These are all wins. Y'all winners, you're not losers. What's the deal? Welcome back to 2.0 Tuesdays. My name is Gregory Gray, aka Mr. 2.0 with Becoming 2.0, and I got a quick question for y'all. Why do we allow ourselves to be dictated by our losses? Like, why do we allow losses to determine what circles we belong in, where we're supposed to be at in life, and ultimately how much value we have? Like, literally, we'll allow small losses, little small pebbles to turn into boulders in our mind, and usually it's not even a loss in and of itself that hurts us. It's what we think other people think about our losses that get us down. And here's what I've come to find out. If you're gonna fail, it's not gonna be because your losses. It's usually because of the way you judge yourself over your losses. Let me say that again. If you're stuck right now, or if you feel like you fell in, right, because you took a loss, it's not the loss that's causing you to fail. It's the fact that you're judging yourself or how you're judging yourself, right? So here's what we do. We take a loss and all of a sudden we start questioning whether or not we even belong where we are. We take the loss and all of a sudden we start thinking like, oh man, she gonna look at me like this, or he gonna see me like that, or maybe I should have never even started this. Maybe I don't even belong. We're ready to question the whole world and doubt ourselves over this small little loss. No matter how many wins that we've had, we allow losses to cancel out our wins. And let me tell you something. It ain't because you're a failure. You ain't a failure at all. It's just that you paying too close attention to the wrong highlight reel. You paying closer attention to the losses more than you are the wins. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not totally your fault. Your brain was literally wired that way. Psychologists call it the negative bias, right? It's basically how our brains was wired, and it helps us to survive. So we pay closer attention to the things that went wrong more than we pay attention to the things that went right. And so if we have a small moment of losses or whatever the case may be, no matter how many wins that we have, we'll spend the next day, next month even, or sometimes next years paying attention to them losses that we took. But if we do that every day, all the time, it'll obliterate your confidence. Like, think about it. If all you can see is the negative things that happen, why would you have the confidence to continue? And y'all wonder why so many of y'all ready to give up. Y'all wonder why so many of y'all ready to throw in the towel. You paying too close attention to a loss, right? And if you started off on anything worth doing, it's gonna come with losses. It's a part of the game, right? So when you set out to start playing the game, think about it this way, it's perspective. When I set out to play this game, you should have set out to play that game, taking into consideration the fact that it's gonna have losses. Like I said in a previous episode, anything worth having is worth fighting for, but you gotta know, those things will fight back. They will fight back. They come with losses. These things that we're doing, it comes with L. But don't allow it to cancel out your wins. Don't allow it to cancel out your wins. Don't pay attention to the losses. Like, how are you gonna become your 2.0 self if you always paying attention to the 1.0 moments? Let me say that again, man. Look, how are you gonna become your 2.0 self if you always paying attention to the 1.0 moment? And I wanna put an emphasis on moments. They're just moments in time. They will pass. Look, I remember a time when I had bought maybe a fourth or fifth truck, and I had just, I feel like, hey, I'm big dog. Like, I'm doing good right now. You know what? Forget, paying payments, $30,000 cash. This one when trucks wouldn't cost that much. Look, $30,000 cash, right? I never looked at the truck, never sent the mechanic out to see it, none of that. Didn't do anything responsible, basically. Anything I was supposed to do, I didn't do. But the truck looked beautiful on the outside, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and buy that truck, right? Went to go buy the truck, got the truck. Within 1 week, truck broke down. And it had some of the worst things that could ever happen to it, right? Basically, to fix this truck, I would have to spend another $17,000. So I'm like, oh no. Either take this truck back, give me my money, or you make the repairs, right? The guy I bought the truck from, he said, you know what, Greg? I'm not doing either, right? The truck was sold as is. It's your problem. I said, oh, bro, that's messed up. He said, oh, well, it's business. Look, it took everything in me not to take matters into my own hands. I'm telling you, but here's the thing. I learned my lesson that day, but I also hyper-focused on that loss for a really long time. For a really long time, from that moment forward, I was afraid to make any real move forward. I was afraid to take any more risk until somebody told me, like, Greg, a lot of the L's that you have in this business, right? They were due to come, right? They were due to come, and it taught you some of the best lessons. Take the lesson, not the L, and just move forward, right? Take the lesson, not the loss, and just move forward. You can't pay attention so much to the losses. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, but I'm so afraid. Like, I can't afford to take another L like that. He said, you really can't afford to keep moving so afraid, though. And Greg, what about everything you did right? What about everything you did right? Like, Greg, a kid from the inner city, right? Grew up around gang banging and drug dealing. You didn't have a blueprint on how to run a company. Look how well you doing, bro. Look at all the things you did right. And that's my word to a lot of y'all. Stop paying attention to the things that went wrong. What about the things that went right? And some of y'all like, well, Greg, not a whole lot went right. I beg to differ. Some of y'all was struggling to get out of bed this morning because of depression, but you overcame it and got out that bed, didn't you? Some of y'all was like, man, I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm tired, but you went to that gym, didn't you? Right? Some of y'all like, man, I'm supposed to go for this run. You didn't want to go for a run, but you went for the run, didn't you? Some of y'all are afraid to pick up the phone and make that call to deal with, that claim, or make that call to make that apology or forgive this person or that person. Y'all did it, didn't you? These are all wins. Some of y'all are just like me, and y'all made it from situations and circumstances that you weren't supposed to make it out of. Those are all wins. Don't count yourself off. You a big dog because of those wins. Some of y'all are going through a whole lot. Single parents, right? Single mom, single dad, no education, so much on your shoulders. And y'all choose to get up every day and fight with vengeance, fight with violence, if you will. Y'all determined to move forward is because inside y'all champions. Y'all winners, you're not losers. Stop maximizing your losses and minimizing your wins. Allow yourself to be defined by these wins, because that's what you are. You're a winner. Look, God didn't call you to stop over this little bump in the road. He didn't call you to question all of your existence, or rather or not you should have even started just because you ran into a little bump in the road. Stop allowing your setbacks to scream louder than your comebacks. Like, really, you have way more wins than you have losses. You just got to change that self-talk. Change that inner dialogue. Remind yourself every day of all of your wins. Here's what I want you to do. I want y'all to drop a comment right now of a win that you have over the last 30 days. I don't care what the win is. I don't care how big or how small. Drop a win. And I want you to remind yourself of those wins. Remind yourself. I do this every day. Every day, right? I actually have it recorded, right? I have it recorded, different wins that I had. And anytime I have more wins, I write those wins down, because I got to remind myself too of my wins. Because again, our brains are naturally programmed to hold on to those losses. Let me tell you something. We all on a mission. Look, from now on, we're not celebrating our losses no more. We're not hyper-focusing on our losses. We only celebrating progress. We getting all attention, full attention to all of our wins, right? We on a mission to become our 2.0 self, so we don't give no more credibility or no more attention to our 1.0 moments, right? We only going up. Peace.